Okay, it's good that I had to stop. So anyway, yeah, I make these videos and they'll take it and make it out of sync. Okay, that's them doing this group, okay? Because it's an iPhone. So, and I'm not editing the audio. So the audio doesn't detach. If you don't detach the audio, there's no way for it to fall out of sync, okay? So, so anyway, not to get into this whole Fort Meade thing, but anyway, he went on and wrote me up, this guy. His name was Sarn Odette. He liked me. I liked him too. I thought he was a fantastic star. I like all my leadership. Okay, I'm not here to say. I'm just this group was working through these groups. Matter of fact, they worked through all the students. The students were talking about Jimmy Hoffa. Now, why would they be obsessed with Jimmy Hoffa? Okay, they kept saying Jimmy Hoffa, Jimmy Hoffa. They were talking about how they didn't like Jimmy Hoffa. Now, why would this is coming from this group? And how they're going to bury him and kidnap him. This is what they were saying, the students. And I said, the teacher just said you can't talk about a crime. They told the teacher that I stopped the class assignment. And that's what they kicked me out of Fort Meade for. Because I told them don't do it. But I didn't continue telling them don't do this because you're not supposed to talk about a crime. They said, they kept doing it. And they recorded the video too. The teacher called me in and said, we're writing you up. This is why I got kicked out of Fort Meade. We're writing you up. And why are you writing me up? We're writing you up because you interrupted the class. I also said Cheerios while they were setting up. I said, Cheerio. I just trying to make things light with all their heavy talking. And I was just saying Cheerio, like, Cheerio, just to say the word. Because I like practicing accents, okay? That's it. That was the one word. I was just saying Cheerio. Isn't that great? Cheerio, like that. Just trying to keep it upbeat somehow. I don't remember what I was saying around it. But she said, you stopped their assignment. That me saying Cheerio didn't stop them. I wasn't doing that to stop them. In fact, I wasn't talking while they were filming at all. Only when they were setting up, hazing, harassing, they were making, little comments. So I was just doing that to keep myself entertained. It wasn't, it's not a bad thing to say Cheerio. It's not a curse word. And neither was I using it in such a manner, okay? So neither did anyone report that I used it in such a manner. But I was reported that I stopped their work because I didn't stop them either from filming that. I let them film it. And then I said, you're not supposed to do that. So they reported that I interrupted the process. So I was given a counseling statement from the teacher at Fort Meade saying, you interrupted their class practice. And here's a counseling statement. I said, I did not. She had already written it, typed it, everything but signed it. She hadn't even taken the time to listen to my side. She just pushed it forward and said, sign it. And so I signed it and I clicked, I don't agree. Okay. When I wrote the comments down, I did not. They did a crime. They have the video. You can go get the video. They have the video. It still should be in the archive of them talking about Jimmy Hoffa. So they took this whole packet of all this untrue stuff about me, okay, and sent me home with it. When I got it home, it was all washed out. All my comments were like, you know how you take a copy machine over and over and over, so that you can't read it. Like it's been copied 1,000 times, so you can't read it. My comments were no longer readable. Not a single comment in this is this group doing it. Then they took and put a grid over it so I couldn't go in and Photoshop it. Actual grid, like a grid, like tic-tac-toe grid, all over the paper, which then shows a Photoshop edited document. This is a document I received, all the documents. I found a document in there that I didn't sign with my signature on it, meaning my signature was lifted up digitally and placed. They put me, this is not Fort Meade doing this. This is this federal group. They brought me upstairs, okay? When I reported that the teacher slammed this stick on the thing, this is the second time. The first time they were hazing, harassing me, I didn't report it. First time when this federal group came and was hazing, harassing me. And then one of the teachers slammed the van door by my ear, and it hurt my ear. And I ended up crying. I tried not to let them see me cry, but I ended up crying because it hurt so bad. Now, I said you should have I told myself, oh my God, you should have went to the doctor, because if you have an issue, you're going to need to report this, okay? You're going to need to get help in this area. You should have reported it. You should have gone to see someone about it, okay? So Now, when I went again, I went upstairs and reported this to the school that they've been hazing and harassing because they put the same teacher that slammed the door in my ear in my class again. I don't think he was supposed to be there. The federal government group put him in that second class. So I had already graduated his class. Then he came back to the second class. The first thing he did was say I was stupid. And if not, I was stupid. What I said was stupid. Why was I? This is him. He stopped the whole class and said, "Why would you ask a stupid question like that? You're not an example of a sergeant." Just really lit into me. Now, this is abuse, okay? Not necessary for him to sit there and do that. So after so much of it, so much of it, I went upstairs, and now my attitude was negative, okay? It shouldn't have been negative, because even if people are lighting into you and calling you names and doing this kind of stuff, or calling you stupid or your thoughts stupid or whatever, we've all been raised to understand that, so what, okay? However, I felt it was important that I go upstairs and report this for some reason, because this particular teacher was always needling in on me and saying mean things to me like that the first class, but I didn't report any of it. And I said, you know what, I better report him. Because now, see, what happened was he gradually worked into it on the first class. So he just gradually started abusing me by words and gradually started just demeaning me and really lighting into me. So it didn't just happen immediately. In this class, he lit in first, right in. So I said, I need to go report him right away. I want to report to him that he slammed the door. And they said, now, because remember, these people are not acting these way normally. This is this group causing these people to do this. So the administrator said, I can't believe that person's like a soft little cuddly teddy bear. And that is how he looks. He has long eyelashes, I'm sure. But under this guy's, the guiding of this federal group, you could read the paperwork and see how they wrote. They say things like this. The one time I was walking up, they said, "Stop, Sergeant Doeman. Are you chewing gum?" This is what they said. "Yes, Sergeant." Chewing gum in uniform is not allowed. Don't ever let me see you chewing gum, because if I see you chewing gum again, you are disobeying a federal officer, and that is UMCA. This is what they put in my paperwork. This is not the Army. Army does not sit around writing counseling statements like a secretary and doing that kind of stuff. I chewed gum all throughout my active Army career. And nobody ever said don't chew gum in formation. But I never heard anybody say don't chew. I had gum. I was always passing out gum. I never heard that. Okay? But it doesn't matter. If a sergeant tell you something, okay, no, they're not telling you something breaking the law, okay? They say don't chew gum, don't chew gum. So I never chew gum again in uniform. Okay? Even when I wasn't at school, I just didn't. Of course, if you ever do it again and you're at a new unit, then you have to ask permission. You have to say, I was told at one point that I couldn't. Is that okay here at this unit or no? Because you don't want to just start smacking gum in uniform again in another unit. And you think you've been told you shouldn't. This is a respectful thing to do. Okay, respect. So, and if you look at the counseling statements, they're just really, soldiers the Army doesn't do that. And insults and all this kind of stuff being put in it. And it's something not even true. Okay. And then as far as my grading, they failed me out of Fort Meade because the same sergeant that I reported, he after I reported that the first sergeant slammed the van in my ear, this group was listening. They have cameras and audio, as far as I understand, in every single home, every single hotel room, every single car. They do control the brakes in every single car, remote control, and they have sleep gas everywhere, in every gym, every hotel, every house, that's just the way it seems to me. Because everywhere I go, they release the sleep gas. Everywhere I go. Every car I get in, they will release it. So I haven't seen a place where it ain't. That's why I say that the sleep gas is everywhere. I haven't been able to have an intimate conversation anywhere that they don't. We were at the VA, me and my mom, in the bathroom. And we said, well, that's something you can be sure of. I mean, you can be sure of, like that, okay? We said that to you. We went into the VA and talked to someone that I knew. Now, this is now after I reported the teacher. So they started more hazing and harassing me. We got into the VA, and the person that was helping me came forward, and he says, this is something you could be sure of. I mean, you can be sure of. Ha, 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 ha. completely repeating every single word. There's audio and video everywhere, in these bathrooms, everywhere. Okay, now as long as an individual isn't making you aware that they can hear you and all that, then you don't even think about it. Matter of fact, the mind is so much so that it doesn't really care. This is why they continually keep reminding me. They gotta run the sirens every day. They gotta, when I go into the bathroom, our lights are out right now. So when I go into the bathroom, the lights are out. They have the neighbor flicker their lights. I don't know how they're flickering it, if it's automatic or if they actually have somebody flicking the lights, flick. It could be their light. They had all our neighbors put in these industrial super strength bright lights that penetrate through the room and penetrate. This is stuff that most house people don't do. They use regular house lights, not industrial like factory lights. But all our neighbors have this. Matter of fact, when I told my family, my brother and my mom, I didn't know they're hazing harassing me too. I didn't know they were hazing harassing me the whole time. Had no idea, because they have the ability to sway me this way, sway me that way. Had no idea. I told my mom and my brother, I'm being hazed, harassed, and molested using sleep gas. The day I told them, every single neighbor, or the next day, put up a camera on their house as if they're going to record. These people hack right into video. So they have control over the fire department, the police, judges, if you will. Judges, all the jury, every single civilian that I've seen, Latino, Pacific Island, the gangsters, the homeless, the dignified, everyone. There's the babies, the toddlers, the kids. Same thing. They had little kids yelling. On one of my jobs, there was a guy that a person might consider nerdy. I consider everyone wonderful. So they had the little baby say, this is how the little baby say, running around. They were babies, but they could talk. You know, the age when they can talk. And they said, you like nerdy ones. You like hunky ones. You like, this is what they had the little babies running around saying. The day before, I was hanging with someone who's very, very smart. In fact, I was impressed by this person because, and it wasn't necessarily like a flirting thing. I don't judge a person based off of their smartness or their nerding. I'm a nerd. I used to wear glasses. I got LASIK. And that's another thing that they're doing, by the way. Every night, they don't just come in and haze and harass and molest me. And I'm frigid, by the way. So even though, hey, they went and this is what they put in my active Army record. They just changed my active Army records. How do I know? I got a copy of my active Army records, but I have a copy here at my house, okay? They went and changed what I have here at this house. I don't know if they changed it in perms, okay? But it says, this is what it says. Now, I highly doubt this ever happened. I'm frigid. So it's very hard for me to get the little female exams because I'm frigid. And by the way, I'm not dating. And by the way, when I try to, nothing ever materializes because I'm frigid, okay? And you can ask people that I try to date or try to spend time with, and nothing happened, okay? Nothing. We were never able to, whatever that would consummate or whatever you call that word, for the sake of what it seemed like they were putting, which is they put in there. I have dated, but I'm frigid. Still frigid. I don't know now. I've been truly molested using sleep gas now for so long, since they started. They started after 2000. When I say at the Fiddler's Green is when I realized, but they did it once. The Army would never do this. They always room the females first. They roomed me very last. They roomed everybody else, roomed me last. When I got in my room, the door didn't close and it didn't lock. The Army would never put a female in a room that doesn't close. This is this group doing this. They drove us all the way out to this San Diego Pendleton, is it? Base, okay? They drove us all the way out to this hotel with no cameras, okay? But don't have cameras. Even the Fiddler's Green doesn't. Because and then the reason why, because the Army, to me, the Army is a safe place. This is not the Army doing this. It's a safe place. The rules you got to follow. Lock your door. Don't be hanging out at night. Don't go out with people that you don't know. And all those rules like that, even try following. Not that I'm knocking on wood, okay? But what I'm trying to say is They would never do that, okay? This is this group. I didn't know I was molested because they use a sleep gas. All I remember was feeling very, very sleepy, all of a sudden, not any more than usual, and just falling asleep. When I woke up, when you wake up from the sleep gas, depending, you wake up with a start. And then you kind of moving. I left my ring, and I wear a ring on my finger, okay? And I left my ring, which was this really cute ring that I thought was like, why didn't they just mail that to me? Because it's federal group. I swore in my mind they would have mailed it back to my unit. They knew who had stayed in that room, but they didn't. It was probably some bubblegum ring that I had, because I always like to have a ring on my finger, and I just was looking for one, and I put one on. It's really cute, and I just don't know why they didn't send it back. I know I'm not one into like gold, silver. I'm not a that kind of person, okay? So this particular ring was not necessarily gold, silver, but it was cute. And I said, why didn't they just mail it back? I didn't take anything, drop it into a little envelope and mail it back, And we were always taught, if people leave stuff, leave it. If you find stuff in the gym, report it. To me, I don't touch it. I go get the people at the front and say, hey, somebody left their phone there, or somebody left their wallet. I try not to touch it because if the person does come back, they'll say, oh, that little person over there took it, or that little that black girl or a black girl came and took it. Not that it's a racist, but there's something. But if you get a constituent person with the, with the badge that says, hey, I work at the gym, then they'll say it's a lost and found, and that's better for them, so they don't worry and all this. And it creates confusion. So, if you find it in a gym, especially now with the false arrest, I mentioned that and all this, maybe at some time I would have, I did find money, and this is this group doing this. Mom always said, if you're a maid and you go through a house, you might see the maid, they leave out $100 bill or $20 bill. She said, they're doing this to test you. If you ever find out, if you ever do it, don't touch the money. So I went to the gym anyway. I was in a gym, and it's like $100, $20, $50. I don't remember. I don't know. But it was on the gym floor. So at the time, anyway, I just picked it up and brought it to the front. He says, all this money, I don't know what it was. Why would you bring it? I was like, because everyone always brought everything to me. The only thing I actually lost was at a different gym, was at the LA Fitness. Now, this is not and the one thing, okay, so I go to the LA Fitness. I hope I'm saying it right. No, 24-hour fitness. No, 24-hour fitness. So anyway, I go to this 24, and it's not the gym doing this. This is during the stay-at-home, when we wear the mask, or right after stay-at-home, where we have the masks on and stuff. I go to the gym, packed to capacity. I go inside of the shower. Now, I'm not always taking a shower. I'm only taking a shower because our hot water's off. They broke our hot water heater too, by the way. They broke our hot water heater, the ADT machine, and they broke something else. They broke the air conditioner. They broke everything here. They're the reason why my battery's not working. They're the reason they messed up my rotor. How do I know? Because I knew shouldn't be anything wrong with my rotor because I don't use my brakes. Mom taught me that when you're driving, lift off the accelerator, let your car slow down automatically. Then you just touch your brake a little bit. You don't sit there and use the brake and press it on. Then she says it saves your brake pads. Now all of a sudden I'm hearing something with my car. I knew they did something to my rotor, okay? Now, and I'm saying this casually, but truly. So I take off the wheels, and I go and I touch my rotors, and I feel it. Yeah, the one where the rotor was messed up, which is the one on the driver's side, on the passenger side, is all dug into, okay? And guess what? One of the screws was loose on there, okay? Now, the screw wouldn't be loose because I checked all the tires. The screws were not loose on any of the other ones. The one where the rotor was all eaten into and all this and that, there was a screw loose, okay? And I took a picture of it. But they're the ones doing this stuff. When I was driving to the VA, I guess they thought I was going to report them for something. But they had this motorcyclist come. They stopped the traffic. There's no the day of speed. What do they call that thing where you have a mid? What do they call that thing where they have the chase on the freeway? The speedway chase or the chase. When they say law enforcement's chasing a straight arm chase. What do they call that? Anyway, I don't know how they could have that anymore because they have the power. They control so many civilians. they can get the whole freeway packed. And how do I know? Because when it came time for me to go to my military drill, it's 2 hours away. I think is it 2 hours? It's 2 hours away. How many? 100 miles? About 2 hours away from here, from Lancaster to Los Alamitos is where I was going. Okay. So I got to be there by by 7. So I leave by 4, and back to back traffic. I'm just staring at red lights for like an hour. Okay. So I say, I don't want to sit in traffic for an hour. I'm going to leave instead of leaving at 4, I was leaving at 5. I said, I'm going to leave at 4. Same exact thing. Back to back traffic as soon as I get on the freeway. So I say, okay, I don't want to deal with the traffic. I'm going to leave at 3. Back to back traffic. The same, sitting in the traffic for 1 whole hour. They control this. When I first got here and I hadn't reported the teacher, so the teacher in Fort Meade, I went and reported that the first teacher slammed that was in a separate class. I graduated. So I went upstairs and reported to the administrator that the same teacher slammed the door and that he's hazing, harassing me. And at first the administrator said, I'm going to call him up here. And then he said, I'm not going to call him up. Just try to be more positive, because that was the best advice that he gave me, really. Okay. And I think he was aware that this federal group was there and hazing, harassing me, but he was trying to help me. But my negative energy wasn't allowing him to do so, because he realized that talking to this federal group, and trying to get the teacher is not going to be in his best interest. So he said, why don't you just work on your positive? That was the best advice he gave me, but I wasn't able to hear it because I was being negative. So I said, okay, I will work on my positivity. I go downstairs and immediately the teacher slams a stick covered in duct tape right in my ear, right? Well, it was a shared desk. It's just wake up this student that's seen it, slams the stick, right? Hurts my ear all over again. And I say, oh God, wow. So I wait until but before this, God had told me, get up and go eat some of your Quest bar. Get up right now. And I said, God, I'm working, I'm doing this. I need to get some work done anyway. I need to get some work done. Ooh. I didn't listen. And because I didn't listen, as soon as I didn't listen, wham, the stick hit the desk. I would have probably graduated Fort Meade if I had gotten up and listened to the voice, okay? Listen to the voice, like Les says, listen to the voice. So I wait till the students leave, and then I go and I speak with the teacher, and I say, sir or Mr. so-and-so, I don't remember their names now. I wish I did. But they're nice teachers. The thing is that they're this federal group, and not that the federal group's not nice. They were working through them, okay, to hate and harass me. So I said, in order to wake a student, just ask a student to touch them. You could have hit him, because if he had moved, he was sleeping. He could have tipped over or something. You could have hit him. He said, don't tell me what to do in my class. It's my class. I do what I want. And so I went and told the drill sergeant. And first I went to the gym and I said, you should tell the drill sergeant, say, I'm going to go and get some earplugs. And, I was just, see, the thing is, I'm not condoning. When your mind is positive, A, you avoid those things. B, you got to go to God. To me, you got to ask God, what do you do? So I went into the bathroom before I went and reported it to my drill sergeant. I didn't go to the bathroom. But whenever I go to the bathroom, they have someone follow me right in. It doesn't matter who it is, Just like I go park in a parking lot now, a car drives right up and parks right next to me. Now you would say, oh, that's hazing, that's harassing someone's phone. It's an elderly lady. It's a black preacher. It's a teenager. It's a family of 6. These people are all being told to do this, okay? I start backing up. They always have a car behind me back up into me with no consideration of me. I'm trying to back up. Immediately, there's somebody in their car. They turn on their car and they start backing up. This happens 100% of the time. So I wait. And I've learned, just drive back up, turn your car off and wait. Because if you do this, you wait. So the car takes their sweet time backing up, and then they leave. So as soon as you get ready to move, another car jumps into that spot. Or a kind lady crosses right in front of your car. Just with no consideration of your time. They just, you know how some people say, whoo, and they run, no one's running. And so then you say, okay, I'm going to start backing up. So you start backing up and you start getting ready to back up and wanting to turn, but another car's trying to enter and they honk at you. Man, you didn't see? I've been waiting. It takes me, this happens every single time in every single parking lot, the Walmart parking lot, the Winco parking lot, the Dollar Tree parking lot, every single time. Okay. I've even recorded all the red lights. I've recorded it. So, you know, and I'm not here to prove this to anyone. This happens every single time. Like I say, repeating things. This is another thing that they do. So you go to the store. They have 3 or 4 themes. One theme is alcohol. They could do this alcohol thing. So you get in there, a guy will come behind you and slam this alcohol on the belt. So, because it's done to pick your awareness. I'll usually get out of line just because of that. Nothing, I don't want to be around that energy. Okay. Because then what they'll do when you turn around to, like, it's usually a male, they'll start pulling up their pants. I don't want to be around that. As soon as I see that, I say, excuse me, I'm not staying for any more drama that they're going to do, because they're going to do more. Because the next thing they're going to do is they're going to shove their product right next to yours. This is what they do. This is not these people. This is what they're told to do. So you get the little divider thing and you put it down. They push the product and your thing and the divider all the way up the thing. This is what they do to me at these lines, okay? This is what they're telling these people to do. I say, no, thank you, I'm getting out of this line. Before it all starts, I'm gone, okay? Another thing they have the person do, they take the cart and bump it up against my feet, okay? Another theme that they have is, if it's not that theme, then they'll have the family thing. So I had the hysterectomy thing. And that's what I got the 50% from the VA. Not because I went in and said I was crazy. I didn't even want anything from the VA. They asked me, we can give you a percentage, because they put me down for anxiety because I'm shy. And I said, don't give me a percentage for it. Just give me 0. So they gave me 0 for anxiety, 0 for plantar fasciitis. And, but they went and said that I'm crazy, as if the Army, and then this is what they put: mysterious craziness that no one knows how she's going to pop off one minute to the next. The Army is not going to sit and harbor a whole lot of crazy people who could pop off and then demolish half of the Army itself and half the city block. Okay. It's just not going to happen. This is what they put lately. They put this in my active Army, like this year. She has a mysterious axis craziness that no, this is not true. Okay. Matter of fact, I was put on every single special assignment the United States Army had possible that they could ask somebody, not like Mission Impossible kind of thing, but working with the brigade, helping to redeploy the soldiers, stuff like that. So this is about to hit 30 and I'm going to stop it. And hopefully the next section will be the last part of my complain fest. Woo! Or should I say do 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 do. Anyway, it's 28, so I'm gonna stop this and then restart. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but I'm trying to finish it. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna stop it now and restart it. Okay.